What's happening, my fellow geeks and geekettes? Welcome to a brand new episode of Cosplay Chris, and today I'm going to be answering your questions. Again, thank you very much for posting all of your questions in the 20,000 subscribers video. It meant a lot. I've gone through them all. I've got some selected questions I'm going to answer. Now, the first one is, where do I work? I work for an airline called QantasLink. It's a regional airline, part of the Qantas group. Qantas is one of the biggest airlines in the world and one of the biggest airlines in Australia. We also have a regional section called QantasLink. Actually, Air Canada have the little turboprops. We use those exact same dash turboprops for QantasLink. So we go to rural parts of Australia like Wagga Wagga, Coffs Harbour, Port Macquarie, and I'm out on the tarmac organising turnarounds for aircrafts as a certain section of the airport. That's pretty much my job. Second one that I get a lot of, what age did I start cosplaying and what was my first actual cosplay? If you want to get technical about it, I've been cosplaying, aka dressing up, since I was like 2 years old. Running around naked with a cowboy belt and a hat. I'd still love to do that now, but I get arrested. But honestly, my first proper cosplay, I'd say I was about 15 or 16, and it was an Obi-Wan Kenobi cosplay. And I remember I got old bed sheets and like cut them up, made them like the tunic shoulder parts and everything. I got old gumboots and spray painted them brown, and the brown was just cracking off. I had like sweatpants as the actual pants. It looked horrible, but my god, at the time I thought I looked fucking amazing. And that's what cosplaying is very much all about. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, as long as you think you look good. Another question I got asked a lot, what color are my nipples? A really full brownish slash skin mixed color, I think. Is there a vein going through that one? Can you do a Deadpool cosplay?
Now, before I move on, I'd just like to address the fact that I've got some tissue stuck to my forehead. It was hot, I patted my head with some tissue, and decided to leave some behind. So now, you can enjoy Cosplay Chris with tissue on his head.
I would love to do a Deadpool cosplay, but I would have to research the shit out of it. The reason being is I'd love to do the Ryan Reynolds movie version of the Deadpool costume, but you look at that thing, that's a lot of leather, which means that's going to be a lot of money. There are people now that are making screen printed sub-dye suits of that leather suit, but to be honest, I'd want to go all out and get it exactly like the Ryan Reynolds costume. So maybe, definitely in the future, I will do a Deadpool cosplay. Hell, I might even do my own take with some motorcycle armor and whatnot. Okay, next question. What state of Australia do you live in, and when did you develop an interest in cosplay and retouching merchandise? I live in the state of New South Wales, which is in the middle of Brisbane and Melbourne. Everyone else around the world will be like, where the fuck is that? And when did I develop an interest in cosplay? Well, technically since birth, but you know, about 15, 16 is when I properly got into cosplay. And in terms of getting into retouching merchandise, I've been wanting to do that for a very long time. Like back in the day, I'd customize my Ninja Turtle figures. I never thought anything about it, and I thought, what if I could turn it into a tutorial where other people could take my ideas and apply it to their merchandise? Next question, do you play video games? If so, what ones? To be honest, I am not a massive gamer. I know it sounds bad being a cosplayer and a geek and whatnot, but I'm just not a massive gamer. You know, I'd rather go out to the workshop and build something than play games, but the games that I've played most are the Arkham series, and they were just beautiful, all put together. They were just amazing games to play. Because don't get me wrong, I do like playing games on and off, and I like playing a really good game and spacing it out and making the most of it. And since Arkham finished, I haven't found one since. Next question, will you be coming to the States anytime? Most important, so California. Yes, I am trying to plan a trip to the States this year. Actually, I don't know when. I think this will be my 6th or 7th time in the States. I absolutely love going to America. There's just something about it, and it keeps bringing you back over and over. So plan of attack is I'm hoping to go to Los Angeles, New York, and maybe somewhere in between, I don't know. But it's just in the R&D stage at the moment. Will you marry me? Haha, but seriously, what has been your favorite experience while cosplaying at a con? Keep up the awesome videos. First off, thank you for that. I'll think about that one. Most amazing experience whilst cosplaying at a con, that would probably be the looks little kids give you when you're dressed up as Batman. It's so funny, they go into like a trance because it's Batman. You rock up, they see you, and it's just like... I did have one kid though that cried. It was so bad. I didn't even say anything, I just walked past them and they just went like this. Oh shit, that's good. Next question, favorite Batman comic? Easy, Batman Earth 1. Holy shit, just beautiful drawings, beautiful story, an amazing twist at the end. I don't need to go into detail with that. You guys have seen my review on Volume 1 and Volume 2, and I really hope they continue it because it was just so well done. Okay, have you ever had second thoughts on progressing with this channel at any time? If so, why? No. There was a point though where I was going through a bit of a rough patch, and it shows in my channel I really wasn't putting in the effort. And it's not as if I was thinking about throwing in the towel or anything. It was just a matter of picking yourself back up and just continuing with what you're doing. Because this is what YouTube is all about. You have to put in the hard work, and you got to keep your content fresh, new, and exciting. And it does get tricky sometimes, but most of my ideas come to me when I least expect it. I'm half asleep, or I'm in the shower. What's your workout routine? I mix it up as much as I can because I just want to keep my body constantly guessing with what is going to happen next in terms of fucking it up. Sometimes I'll train 4 days on, 1 day off, or 6 days on, 1 day off. It really depends. It depends what my workload is with work at the airport and the YouTube channel. And I can't emphasize enough, I concentrate mostly on compound lifts first off in each and every workout, then doing isolation workouts. I don't go overboard with the isolation stuff, to be honest. It's pretty overrated. So at least once a week, you know, it's bench press, deadlifts, squats, clean and presses, military presses, hammer curls. I do a lot of supersets. So for instance, I may do bench press superset with pull-ups. Just mixing it up, I might do squat superset with military presses. Holy shit, that'll make you vomit. Okie dokie, next question. Cosplay can be very expensive. How much cash do you usually spend on a costume, and how long of a process is it to finish a costume? What's more important to you about a costume, comfort and fun or accuracy? That is a damn good question. It honestly depends. With a bat suit, it's a given that you're probably going to be dropping about $1,500 to $2,000 if you want a decent and accurate looking bat suit. So it really varies, my friend. It can average from $500 to about $3,000, and that's why it takes so long to put together. You got to save up, buy the supplies, save up, buy the supplies, and it's just this vicious cycle. But in the end, you do get there. And at the end of the day, as long as you're happy with the final result, that's all that matters. You don't want to have any regrets about it whatsoever. In terms of comfort and fun or accuracy, I try and make it as comfortable as I can, but also I need it to be functional and I need it to be comfortable, because especially with a bat suit or something that's constricting all over your body, you're wearing this thing for several hours in a convention. It's not like a movie set where they yell cut and a team of people come over, rip it off, and you know, put fans all over you, smother you, pamper you, everything. It's not like that, you know, you're looking after yourself on that day and only you. So I try and make it as comfortable as possible. There's no real easy way to make a bat suit comfortable, yet with the way that I'm going about it is it's a bodysuit. It's not like there's armor, it's gonna be restrictive. The only thing that really worries me is the cowl. When you're in that cowl for so long, you can't hear properly, you can't turn your neck properly, you got tunnel vision, and you're surrounded by a pool of your own sweat. Next question, what are some tips for young aspiring cosplayers? I can't emphasize this enough. Have fun with it. This is all about you and your love for a certain character, so having fun in the whole process is the most important thing. Don't worry about what other people think and trying to improve it to make others happy. As long as through your eyes you see it looks amazing, accurate, perfect, and when you put it on you feel that empowerment of that character, then that's all that matters. That's my best advice for cosplayers starting out. This might sound weird, but what's your recommendation for a chest exercise? Bench press, bench press, bench press. Guys, trust me, when it comes to working out, less is more. As long as your main focus of an exercise for your chest is bench press, then really, like, you could do 20 sets alternating the weight with bench press and you could be done. That's it, you know, hop on the treadmill, then have a protein shake. Bench press overall just builds total mass and density on your chest, and then you can go in and, you know, superset with flies, or you can do flies superset with push-ups. Incline, decline stuff, it's useless pretty much, guys. It puts too much strain on your shoulders, whereas with bench press, your center of gravity is perfect. you're not putting too much strain on the shoulder if you're doing incline or decline. Decline is actually one of the worst things you can do for your chest. If you want to fill out the lower part of your chest, bench and cable flies. As long as you're also doing exercises, usually when you finish off from doing bench press that includes squeezing, then that is going to fill out your chest. When will you do another custom figure makeover? PS, love your channel. First off, thank you very much. Secondly, I don't ever plan to stop doing these custom figure tutorials. You guys have been amazing with the feedback, and it's pretty clear that it's obviously working. These tutorials are working for people wanting to do the same thing, and I've actually got a lot of shit behind me that I've bought that will be for tutorials. I've got the Stormtrooper here. That is going to be part of a very exciting project that I've still got to get a few more supplies for. I've got an Iron Man here. I've got some more Kylo Ren lightsabers that I found at Kmart. So guys, the list is endless. I have a long line of tutorials for this segment, so don't worry, they're not going anywhere anytime soon. Have you ever considered becoming a real-life superhero slash vigilante? Vigilante! Similar to Batman. Who says that I'm not? Next question, what is your favorite color? Baby blue. What's yours? What conventions do you go to? Will you ever come and do a meet and greet at Oz Comic Con in Melbourne so I can meet you? That's pretty damn cool, man. I usually hit up Oz Comic Con and Supernova. Supernova Sydney, I think, is June. Melbourne Oz Comic Con, I think, is actually not this coming weekend, the following weekend. I don't know if I'll be able to make it. I don't know if I'm going to be working or not. I'd love to do a meet and greet someday, but honestly, who the fuck wants to meet me? How do you clean your urethane rubber mask, and how do you wash it after use? Perfect question, because most of my armor pieces, cowls and whatnot are made of urethane. All you need to do is get a sponge with some clean warm water, give it a wipe down, and then re-powder it, so for when next time you use it, you just slip it straight on. And overall, urethane is going to last a lot longer than rubber latex. It's not going to deteriorate as quickly as latex. So providing you're doing that every time you use the cowl and clean it and powder it, it's gonna last a lot longer. All right, next couple of questions. How tall are you? What's your maximum bench, pull, squat? I'm 175 centimeters, and my max bench, which I did, God, like 5 years ago, was 130 kilos for one rep. At the moment, I'm only benching about 80 kilos for 6 to 8 reps, and I usually train chest twice a week and shoulders twice a week. Reason being is I've got what's called impingement syndrome in my shoulder here. It's from not properly training your rear deltoids. So the shoulder has in fact moved forward, and it's bone hitting nerve every time I train chest or shoulders, any pressing movement pretty much. I do exercises with a TheraBand, and it has helped a lot, and it relieves the pain big time. But I'm not risking it with lifting heavy weight again and being back at square one. So instead, I just lighten the load and train those body parts twice a week now, and it pretty much makes up for it. You know, there's no real difference. You don't lose strength, you don't lose mass. I'd rather just do it slow and steady than not injure myself again. Max pull, God. If I deadlift, the most I've deadlifted for one rep is 180 kilos. And maximum squat, the most I've squat for one rep was a couple of years ago, was 150 kilos, I think. A couple of months ago, I did manage to belt out 120 kilos for one rep, but at the moment for actual reps, you know, in the 8 to 10 range, I'm doing about 80 to 100 kilos. And it honestly depends how I'm feeling on the day. If I'm training first thing in the morning with just a black coffee in me, I struggle a bit, but if I train at the end of the day with a whole bunch of food in me and energy and carbs, I'm raring to go. So honestly, it depends on the day. What is the hardest cosplay you have ever done? It's actually still a work in progress, but the hardest so far has been Edward Scissorhands. Trying to get those scissors down pat and as screen accurate as possible has been one of the hardest things I've ever had to do pretty much. And reason being is because they didn't take many behind the scenes photos when Tim Burton was filming this, because they didn't think it was going to be a hit, so we'll just take a few behind the scenes photos and that's pretty much it. And there weren't many photos taken of the actual scissor props. There are a few floating around with them being worked on in Stan Winston's workshop, which is pretty damn cool. You see all the individual scissor pieces laid out on a workshop, but still, you know, this was taken around when high definition wasn't a thing. It was just, you know, Polaroids. So that's definitely my hardest cosplay, and it's still a work in progress. So I've still got to get some things 3D printed for the actual glove pieces. So hopefully I will have a tutorial on that coming soon. Good question. How do you decide when to shave your chest? When it gets like a shag carpet. And it's not one of those things like, oh yeah, I'm gonna shave my chest, fucking look aerodynamic as fuck. It just gets really hairy and I hate it because the rest of me, it's got hair, but it's not like my chest. It's just like a Serbian's chest. It's ridiculous. Like you could get a comb and just run it through if you let it grow and it's just luscious, and I'd rather just get rid of it and let it grow back and do it again. After the trailers, do you think Ben Affleck as Batman is a good choice for the role of Batman? Yes, I definitely think he's gonna surprise us all. And also, a lot of the haters have now been converted ever since they've seen the trailers, footage, whatnot. And I think he's gonna bring to the table what all the other actors couldn't bring to the table as Batman. He's old, he's disheveled, he's a shitty Batman. Not to say that he's gonna do a crap job, but he's just got the shits, he's angry, he's brutal. And I think this is one of the tallest Batmans we've had to date. Affleck's 6'2.5", 6'3". So physically, with all that muscle that he's packed on, he's gonna be one very imposing Batman. And it's interesting that they've made him taller than Henry Cavill. Well, he is in real life, but they're portraying that on screen, that Bruce Wayne is taller than Superman, Clark Kent. And I think that's really cool. I like that idea. And I think Affleck is really going to blow us all away. And it's weird to say that this movie comes out next month. Like, it felt like yesterday we were saying, shit, 1 year to go, but it's nearly here. What is your favorite comedy movie of all time? Dumb and Dumber. Hands down, one of the most brilliantly written and comedically timed movies ever. The humor in Dumb and Dumber isn't forced in your face, even though it comes off as it is, but it's so subtly written. And it came out at just the right time, in my opinion. If it would come out today, the very first Dumb and Dumber, I don't think it would resonate with us as much as it did back in '94. And Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels just had the best dynamic on screen. The chemistry was perfect. It's a shame about Dumb and Dumber 2 because you realize how old they've gotten and how much time has moved on. And the humor just wasn't funny. It just wasn't familiar like the old one. But nonetheless, Dumb and Dumber 1 is probably one of my most favorite comedies of all time. What's the hardest thing about being a cosplayer? Having no money. Are you a fan of the Star Wars prequels? You know what, that's a pretty damn good question. I know I rip on the prequels a lot. I was a massive fan of episode 1 when it came out, only because of Darth Maul. But episode 3 was pretty good. It was one of the best out of the prequels. But I think ultimately the best thing about the prequels was Ewan McGregor. No matter how crappy a scene was, or how crappy the overall movie was, Ewan McGregor just drove the whole thing home with his performance as Obi-Wan. He was just class the whole way through. And it was amazing to see him as like a young man in episode 1 to be this wise old Jedi by the end of episode 3. And the transition was just done perfectly. And I don't think anyone else couldn't have done it but Ewan McGregor. What made you start a YouTube channel? That's a damn good question. I'd watch people, you know, like The Flick Pick, Jeremy Johns, Stuckman, Brick in the Yard, Mold Supplies, and I'd watch their tutorials, I'd watch the guys do their movie reviews, and they're so passionate about it. I'm like, I'm passionate about all those things, and I love talking about stuff like that, because sometimes it's hard to find people around you to talk about stuff like that. You know, you're passionate about it, and they're like, yeah, that's cool. I'm like, no, like, it's awesome. And to find people like that and talk to online is a lot easier than it is in real life. So I thought I'd want to apply, you know, my love for movies, prop building, cosplaying, you know, making people laugh as well, because ultimately at the end of the day, laughter is one of the best things for you. Like I said in my previous video, you guys are like a family to me, and I appreciate your feedback. And it makes it all the more worthwhile. So that is why I wanted to start a YouTube channel. It was just all about putting my passion out there, putting my opinion out there. Even though some people don't agree with my opinion, that's totally understandable. And that's what is gonna happen when you put yourself out there. And we all have our opinions. And I appreciate it when you guys put your opinion out there, even though it doesn't agree with mine. I'm like, that's interesting, and I respect that. What is your favorite video that you've ever posted? Shit, I don't know. Probably Jogger finds a lightsaber, even though that's got fuck all views. That was so fun to shoot. Me and my buddy Pete just went up to, at the end of my street, there's like a nature reserve, and I had this idea in my head. I'm like, what if this jogger finds a lightsaber and, you know, has a go of it and, you know, fucks up and starts a fire and pisses off. And we spent about 3 hours up there filming that, and then I got my buddy Amit Patel, who actually does my intros. He does my intro animations. I got him to rotoscope the lightsaber in and do the animation, and he did a fantastic job with that. He also put the fire in the bush when we bail. So probably Jogger Finds a Lightsaber is my most favorite video on my channel so far. Next question, when will you reveal your Batfleck suit? Okay, a lot of people have been asking me that as well, and you'd think I would by now, but I actually sold my Tundra Designs cow. Reason being is the neck was just way too big for me. It was a very big cow, and it just doesn't fit up with the rest of my body. I'm trying as hard as I can to put on as much weight as possible, very clean, so I don't look like Batman. But overall, the cow was just too big, so I've sold that. I've got a new one on the way, and I will be doing a video on that when it arrives. I've also got the 3D printed parts for my Batfleck belt, which I will be doing a video on that too. I'm gonna be molding them and making kits and completed belts. So that's pretty much what I'm waiting on. In terms of the cape, I'm using the cape off my old Batsuit because it just works for me. I know it's not accurate because it's not leathery. It's more like Christian Bale's cape where it's like that nice flowing fabric. But for now, it works for me. So yeah, hopefully soon, because I really want to have it done by the premiere. I don't think I will, but as long as I can get it done by Supernova Sydney in June, then I will be a happy chappy. What's your favorite part of YouTubing so far, and what's your favorite cosplay bin? Also, what do you plan on doing for cosplays this year? Also, Australia! Love it. Favorite part about YouTubing? Getting your amazing feedback and support. Like, you guys are fucking awesome. And I love when I'm on a roll, when I'm making a video, I'm like, yes, okay, this is going good. It's what I envisioned. And it can be hard to do that sometimes. You think of something in your head, and you put it to screen, you're like, yeah, it was good. But when you get a video edited, uploaded, and you're like, nailed it. That is the most rewarding part. And coming up with original material can be very hard, but when you do and it makes you laugh, then that is ultimately the most important thing at the end of the day. As long as you can make yourself laugh, no one else, you matter first. And what do I plan on doing for cosplay this year? Obviously, regular Batfleck, Nightmare Batfleck. I'm also going to be doing the Armored Batman. That is going to be a very big build, and you guys are going to be along for that ride every step of the way with that, because that is going to take a very long time. But I want to show you guys every step of the way of how I build this thing, so very excited about that. I'd also like to do my own take on the Joker. Like, I've been umming and ahhing for a couple of months now in the R&D stage with the design for the makeup and the costume, but I'd like to do something that's so different and out there and make people go, Jesus Christ. How can you do a good cosplay if you have little money? You know what? If you have little money, that forces you to use your imagination and tools that you already have in front of you. And ultimately, that is going to make you one of the best cosplayers out there. So my friend, don't worry if you don't have enough money. Use what you have, because you will then take that and apply that when you do save up some money to make ultimately an amazing cosplay. Congratulations, Chris. The question is, can you give me a shout out? Kevin Pierce, shout out for you, my friend. Okay, next question. Do you love me? Of course I do. Do you love me? Next question. I have a real question though. Do you ever use shoe polish on shoes, or is it just a weird fetish that you have about weathering everything you touch? You can use shoe polish for shoes? When the fuck did that happen? Hi, I'm struggling to promote my YouTube channel. Any advice to help me increase my subscribers? Great channel from Paul's channel. Paul was actually one of the guys who won my Batman cowl, and I did a giveaway a few subscribers ago. Paul, my best advice to you is just keep going with what you're doing. You've got to keep putting content out there. Word of mouth will spread. You'll come up in recommendations for other videos. It's just a lengthy process, and consistency is the key. There's no real, magic formula, any secret trick that's going to help. You've just got to keep putting yourself out there and keep putting good content out there. And overall, one day you'll wake up and be like, holy shit, there's a lot more people. And the numbers don't lie, and it's good when you see the numbers go up because it means you're doing something right. And I've seen your channel, man, you're on the right track. Just keep it up, just keep going, and you will get there. How did you come up with the catchphrase you use at the beginning of your videos? Originally, I was gonna go with the catchphrase, geek is good, but then that was taken and actually had a copyright against it. So I went back to the drawing book. So I wanted a catchphrase that was, you know, catchy, memorable, and just, you know, wasn't too long. And I was thinking about it, like, when you're a cosplayer, you want to do everything as best as you can. Like, cosplayers go to ridiculous amounts of accuracy and just trouble to make something look as perfect as possible. So they do it best. That's what they do best. They go out there, make it accurate, make it amazing, make people's heads turn. So at the end of the day, we do it best, you know? We're the best at what we do. What is the most hilariously bad movie that you've seen? E.g. The Room, Birdemic, Cool Cat Saves, The Kids, Troll 2. Definitely The Room.
I did not hit her. I did not.
Oh, hi Mark.
Hi, doggy.
Yeah, definitely The Room, but in a way, I love The Room because it's just so fucking bad. Has the power ever went out while you were editing or rendering? No, thank God, but I've had the internet drop out when I've been uploading a video and had to start all over again. It was actually a tutorial video that went for 20 minutes, so I was raging. What is your favorite Batman suit out of all the movies, and who's your favorite Batman actor? Okay, at the moment, my favorite Batman actor is Christian Bale, and I'm not saying Affleck yet because I haven't seen the full movie. In terms of my favorite suit, Batfleck suit. And don't get me wrong, like obviously I haven't seen it fully in action yet, but the overall aesthetic look of it, that is a comic book Batman. He's huge, brutal, looks like a brawler. And Michael Wilkinson has done an amazing job engineering that cowl. That head turn is just beautiful. And it's fixed onto the suit and he can still turn his head. That is a problem that we've had for ages with Batsuits, so much so that Nolan had to split it at the neck. But Wilkinson has gone in, made the cowl one whole piece, and I think it has a special core inside. I've heard things that it's half silicone, half urethane. I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever know, if he's ever going to share his secrets. But the fact that it can turn its head, and he looks like a true comic book Batman, like Dark Knight Returns, Frank Miller, big, old, brutal. That is my most favorite Batman costume. And there we have it, guys. Some questions answered. Thank you very much for submitting all of your questions. Thank you very much for your support. Now I'm gonna be getting ready to do some more tutorials. I've got to do the 3D printed Batfleck belt video. I've got a lot to do. I'm busy, but you know what? Busy's good because at the end of the day, it's all for you guys. So like I said, thank you very much for your continuing support, guys, and watching. And until next time, geeks, please always remember, cosplayers do it best.